I did a session with Mochi Dragon, who was a bearded dragon. And it was super fun, but it was kind of funny because so normally when I'm doing animal readings, I'm getting a lot of impressions and knowings and feelings and sensations, but not like a whole lot of chatter in my head, except for the clownfish. That guy was all chatter. And Mochi Dragon was just like that. And right away when he came in, like he had such a proper little voice. And I was like, oh, okay, all right, buddy, this is interesting. And the way he came in was funny too. So his mom had commented right before I started my session. She goes, yeah, I don't know if he's going to have much to say. She goes, sometimes I just look at him and we kind of make fun a little bit. And we're like, maybe he just has like one little bug running around in his brain, right? And by the way, lovely mom, lovely family, huge animal lover. So it was like just kind of a funny little joke. And so I'm starting to write down my information because I always write down the name and that kind of stuff. And right after she makes this comment as I'm writing, I hear this little voice in my head. And he's like, I am much more wise than I appear. He goes, just because I like to eat bugs doesn't mean I have one running around in my head. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. Okay. So I'm like, hold on, buddy. Just give me a second. Let me connect first. And so I get my stuff written down and I connect with him right away. And he really didn't have that much to say about the life and the family, but everything he said was so freaking hilarious and so dead on. He was just telling me things like, I don't really need to be here much for them in the way of doing things for them. And I'm like, okay, well, like, what do you mean by that? He's like, well, I don't need to have like a greater soul purpose. He's like, they have plenty of other animals around squawking and doing for them. And I'm dying, right? Because they have like, I think they have like 3 dogs and they have a bird. It's actually Isla Blue's family. I did a video on her too. He's like, so they really just don't need me. I'm like, okay. So, what's your purpose here then? What are you doing here, bud? And he's like, well, I'm here simply just simply to rest. And I'm like, okay, all right. What does that mean? He's like, well, I'm definitely very much a dragon spirit. And now I do start getting feelings and impressions. So I'm not hearing this chatter anymore. And he's literally showing me like a dragon, like a mythical creature that does not exist to my knowledge, freaking fire breathing, flying, majestic, proud, but very intelligent, very spiritual. He's showing me dinosaurs. He's showing me Komodo dragons. He's like, I very much identify with a reptilian spirit. That is who I am in my essence. And he was like, and I've interacted with humans before on a much more intellectual level, but I didn't need it this life. And I'm like, okay, so what you doing here in this life, bud? And he's like, I am simply here to simply enjoy the simple pleasures of life. Eating my food, laying in my sun. And when he said sun, I'm like seeing a heat lamp. He wasn't really laying in sun. He's like, I just am here to simply be glorious and for people to like look at my beauty. And I'm laughing, right? And he is a pretty little dragon. I'm seeing the picture of him and his mom's like, oh yeah, he's so gorgeous. And so we're just laughing our butts off because she's thinking he's this silly little dude and he's like this very proper gentleman who's of a much higher intellect. And at one point he even told her that. He's like, I really do like it when the girl, and this is how he addressed the family, the girl, the mother, like most times they're like my sister, my mom, my siblings, and no, they were all just whatever they were. So he's like, I really do like it when the girl speaks to me. He's like, but I prefer her to not speak of silly things. And I'm like, well, what do you mean silly things? He's like, oh, gossip and the sort. He was like, it would be nice to have an intellectual conversation now and then. And she just starts laughing. She's like, are you serious? I'm like, this is just what he's saying. I don't know. And he was like, it would be nice if I could hear conversations about the pondering of inner workings and the greater realities of the universe. That would be a nice change. I don't prefer the silly things. And she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, maybe he's not with the right mom because that's not me. And he's like, oh, no, I am with the right human. And I'm like, okay, well, he's insistent he is. And he's like, and please tell her I do not want a larger enclosure. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm very happy with my simple enclosure and my simple space, but I would prefer to have another water container. And he's showing me like a shallow dish. And he's like, yes, shallow. I do not want it deep. And so she tells me, she was like, well, I was thinking when I move, I was going to give him like a whole bedroom to himself. And he's like, I would prefer you do not do that. I would like a bedroom away from the noise, but I prefer my small enclosure. But I would like another water dish. I was like, well, can you have another water dish? Because she had told me before, like there was like water restrictions or something with bearded dragons. And she goes, no, he has water. She goes, but I have to change all the time and tell him if he quit pooping in it, he wouldn't like need more water. And he goes, well, why do you think I need a second dish? He's like, I prefer to walk across the water. It feels very cleansing when I walk across it. And I do like my baths. And so she's like, yeah, I give him baths. And she's like, okay. She goes, well, I have to change it all the time because his poops smell terrible. He's told her, tell her she does a very good job of keeping my enclosure clean. She goes, yeah, I have to, like, because when he poops, like, it stinks up the whole thing, which I didn't know bearded dragon. I don't know much about them. I've seen them, but I know nothing about them. So she's telling me his poops really stink. He's like, well, how do you think I feel? Which is why I'm very grateful you keep it clean. So I'm like, okay, buddy. So we're digging into a little bit to find out why, why are you here then? Why do you want to be with this mom? And, she's younger. She's just not super into the greater mysteries of the universe. So when she talks to him. She talks to him quite a bit. And it's just normally about like whatever's going on in life. And so, but he was like, no, I should be with you. I should be with you. And so I'm like, well, okay, so what are you doing? He's like, if only you guys knew what I just went through. And again, now I'm not getting voice. Now I'm getting like this impression of like really heavy shit, like way deeper and more metaphysical and esoteric and warlike. Like it felt like war, but like in a way that I can't even explain. And he's just giving me this feeling that that's what he had just gone through. So he's here to enjoy the simple things. And he's like, I knew this girl is a great lover of the animals and this would be a great place to just simply be. He was like, I felt if I had picked another family, they would get rather annoyed that I was not a friendly pet. And so he's just showing me and giving me this impression like, when his mom first got him, she tried really hard to like interact with him. She would like bring him out, put her on her shoulder, try to take him places. And he would always act kind of annoyed and seem like he was much, much happier in her enclosure. So this is like one of the questions she had. She's like, gosh, am I giving him like a quality of life? He really doesn't do much. Like I get him out every now and then. He runs around a little bit, but then he's just like super happy in his enclosure. He's like, yes. That's why I'm with her. He's like, she loves animals so that she's just going to let me be. She's like another family. I feel I would have likely been passed around because I would be disappointing as a pet. He's like, she'll simply let me be. And he goes, but I really don't like... And then I couldn't understand what he's saying, but I'm getting a feeling of like a towel in his enclosure. I'm like, do you put like a towel or something like cloth in his enclosure? And she just starts laughing. She's like, oh my God. She goes, I went and bought like this cute little hammock from Etsy and he will never go in it. He will only go in it if I set him in it. But as soon as I'm not watching, he goes and lays under. He's like, yes. I do not want that in my enclosure. And he was like, if you must have something in there. And he's like, and actually, I think I would like something with a little bit of elevation. I would like a branch with leaves. The leaves are very important. And he goes, and I understand it cannot be a real one. So a fake one would be fine, but do not forget the leaves. And she's like, I did put a branch in there, but it was a real one, and he freaking ate it. I was like, okay. Well, I was like, well, maybe you can find one that's like, a fake one, but it has to have leaves. She's like, okay. And so... it's so funny because he's just going through this whole thing. And when I was getting things wrong, he was correcting me. He'd be like, no, that's not how I said it. And I'm like, okay. And 90% of the time I'm hearing it, but like 10% I'm getting impressions and feelings. So I have to interpret that. So if I wasn't interpreting it correctly, whatever, what I'm saying, correctly, he'd be like, no, that is not what I meant. So he was so funny. He was so cool. He was so deep. He made his needs perfectly known, and he told her exactly what she needed to do to keep him happy, and it was really, really simple. And she was like, man, this guy's just making my life easy here. And he was like, yes, I am, and I would like my life to continue to be simple. Thank you. So yeah, bearded dragons. They have something to say. I think he was unique, though, because I did have talked to a bearded dragon before a long time ago, and he had a lot more to say and definitely had much more of like an animal companion mentality than this dude. This dude is like basically, I don't know, like a mythical dragon who decided to hang out in a bearded dragon's body for a little bit.